got to the point to where I was thinking Hillary Clinton is a reptile. Justin Bieber is also a reptile and running the government. There are dinosaurs in the Amazon. Reptilians started Hurricane Katrina. All of these.
Whoa, reptilians started hurricane. That's a new one for me.
That's a crazy one, man. Don't ask me why I thought this. I can kind of go into it, but all in all, it boils down to I don't fucking know what I was thinking.
Americans have this thing where if somebody talks to you in a British accent, they have this natural assumption that you are smarter than them. Like, I think that's instinctual for a lot of people. So,
and I use that to my advantage. I know that I may sound smart. I'm not smart.
Can I mention something, Dan, before we move on to our next bit?
Yeah.
God is real. Mm-hmm. And I know this because I remember this from the back of my head, that Neil Diamond got a fencing scholarship from what school? Dan?
NYU? Is it NYU?
NYU. God is great. Allah Akbar.
Okay, well, Johnny's on an NYU bent tonight.
I'm actually really surprised that they were able to keep that secret for 15 years. It really does surprise me. I can't keep the plans for a surprise birthday party secret for 2 weeks with 10 people. So,
well, okay. So the thing is, like, I had a podcast before that was just a comedy podcast. So it was like me and my buddy just making jokes and the classic two white dudes giving their thoughts on things. And then it wasn't doing well and it was coming to an end.
Which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't even realize the extent of what I had absorbed from some of these teachings. And it's embarrassing to admit this, but it wasn't until I was a graduate student and a teaching assistant in a forensic anthropology course that I realized that men and women actually have the same number of ribs.
Yep. I want to know if I'm being oppressed by demons.
Based on this list, I can almost guarantee you are.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's hear it. I want to know.
All right. So these are lists that I found on various different websites, like mainline Christian Protestant kind of denomination websites. So number 1, attack on your dreams. Number 2, mental oppression. Number 3, negative emotions.
Okay.
Number 4, intense desire for defiled things. Number 5, an untamed tongue. Number 6, sexual perversion. Number 7, involvement in the occult. Number 8, fake religions. Number 9, chronic illness. Number 10, compulsive behavior. Number 11, extreme restlessness. 12, compulsive desire for self-harm. 13, hearing voices. And 14, paranormal experiences.
Wow. Okay, so like a quarter of those can be solved by like taking an Ambient, and then like another half is just mental illness.
So how did you approach that? Like, what did you do? You like, did you have like a diagnostic thing that you did, or like, how do you Reiki? That's what I'm really asking. How do you Reiki?
And we can get like telescopes. Can you not like get really powerful telescopes and look at the moon and see? Does that? I don't know how good they are.
With like
not like one from Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
A powerful one.
I'm pretty sure you can do like Google Moon, right? Google has or Google Space or whatever, and you can like, look on the planets and stuff. But you know, they would just say, well, that's fake too.
Yeah, and you'll see Neil Armstrong on a beach towel with his.
He's there, and he's with the car
waving.
that Tesla shot into space too. He's like, he's hanging. But that's within the realm of like things that. Yeah, they did, but that's also within the realm of things that can possibly happen. You understand? Like people can make arrangements, and people can cover things up, and people do things. I don't even know if insectoids could live on Mars. Everything I know about Mars makes that untenable to my worldview. You know what I mean? Like I can't even fathom the premise of a life form that advanced, let alone having tools, existing on Mars somehow has been a whole thing this whole time. and we're just now figuring out because NASA accidentally leaked pictures of it. Like,
is a pioneer, they're on that doorstep and they show up at the door of somebody who's a skeptic or, you know, an atheist or agnostic or whatever. What would you kind of say, like, what would be something that would be helpful or maybe kind of start to change their thoughts about something?
That's a really good
question.
Huge
question. And I didn't prepare you. I didn't give you this ahead of time.
No, that's okay. You know, and I've thought about it so many times because there's so many times I thought like, oh, I hope they come to my door and I'm just gonna lay into them with all my biblical knowledge. That's gonna learn them really good.
And church was the best part of basic training because they had it was a Pentecostal church. So, you know, Pentecostal has that music. So when you walk in there and you got your PTs on, because you don't have to wear a uniform today. It's grilled cheese and Jesus Sunday is what we call it.
Grilled cheese and Jesus Sunday. I like that.
If you really put your mind to it. So we're just starting with like a nice middle here. No, you got to be careful not to get paint on your pants. But you know, we all make happy little accidents, right? Happy little mistakes.
Like I said, QAnon is a very loose movement of ideas. I think that's how it thrives in its looseness. When people can adapt it as something being QAnon related or not, it's sort of this amalgamation of different things. It really is a pick and choose which things you like and which things you don't like kind of movement.
Like the Bible.
Yeah, or stochastic terrorism. I mean, it works. Yeah. It works both ways.
Right? It's the same good feeling you feel when you do anything good that helps someone else. Yeah. It just so happens that this also means you get to show up on camera and everyone knows your name.
And sometimes that means dunking on fools. Okay, sometimes that means dunking on fools. I'm not going to dispute that, but we can do it in a way that makes sense for people, right? We can do it in a way that can be productive, and we can do it in a way that causes people to think about things that they otherwise may not think about. Ultimately, that is my point.
I would add on to that. I agree with everything you'd say. I'd add the one clarifying factor for me is that if a fool needs to be dunked on, it's because they came up into your paint to dunk on you.
They came into my court. You come into my house.
You came onto my court
on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Because Bigfoot's already a stretch. Like, why is time travel necessary?
Because the reason why we can't see Bigfoot, Dan, is because he time travels right before you look at him. Duh. That's what happens.
That's it. That's all he's got.
That's pretty much it.
Like the Ark of the Covenant was this thing that the Jewish people were supposed to keep up with. Long story short, they didn't. Yeah. And then we had some Indiana Jones movies that kind of talked about it too.
So I would encourage everyone out there, take care of yourself. Make sure you work on whatever is healthy for you to stretch. I do yoga. My mother, cuckoo as she is, does Tai Chi. Good for her. And it keeps her mobile. So if you're worried about getting into contortions in the future, maybe do it in an actual demonstrable, healthy way. And I suggest yoga, Tai Chi. But, ask your doctor if it's right for you.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to be careful because yoga can invoke demons, Johnny.
We cover that. We cover that on the nonprofits. Yeah, we sure did.
Yes, I think what you've described is perhaps the most benevolent form of religion, perhaps the one that leads millions of people every day to lead their best lives. And, you know, we tend not to like touch those people as much in the atheist community, not literally touch, but like, you know, touch upon it because we care. That's like asshole territory, to be honest. That's where it's like, oh man, grandma, you shouldn't go to church and hang out with your friends. Susie, I already see in the call description, Hitler is mentioned. So I'm already nervous about what we're talking about here, but I'm ready to talk to you, Susie.
Please tell me it's
What's
Nazi archaeology. Please tell me it's Nazi archaeology.
Yeah.
I was just going to say I could just put on my strongest Birmingham accent because that's where I'm from.
Oh, he's a Brummie. He's a Brummie, right? Yeah, go for it then, mate. These guys have no idea what we're saying now.
I don't speak Klingon. No, it's not my thing. But and guys, this is my favorite shirt we've made so far, and I'm biased because I helped design it. But it says lizard people are people too, and damn it, like I just it gets to me. I just think it's true. We got to treat lizard people the same way.
Asking questions is like the gateway drug.
I know.
To leave Christianity.
I can confirm this as well. Yeah, it's curiosity is probably the greatest sin, I think, across a lot of these kind of groups.
I think curiosity cured the cat. I don't think it killed the cat. I think
we get that on a t-shirt. That's our new t-shirt.
I mean, like, her thing was, I'll pray for you.
Okay.
Hopefully one day. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, you're free to do that. But I'm an atheist. I just wanted you to know. And then, like, literally, I got off the phone with her and I posted an atheist meme on Facebook and was like, hey, quick update. I don't believe in God. I'll see y'all later. And just logged off.
As I would turn my head, I would turn my head and it was to the left-hand side.
Okay.
And then right on the corner of the curb, Dick Clown was standing there. And I caught it dead center with my eyes. And then we were at the light or the stop sign, and then it waved at me. It was holding a balloon, and then it just blipped out of existence, kind of like that Tyler Durden blip from Fight Club. Boom, just there and not there all of a sudden.
And was this the Bill Skarsgård It Clown, or was it the Tim Curry It Clown?
No,
that's an important question. Important distinction.
Which one?
Tim Curry It Clown.
I was exploring my spirituality. I believed myself to be a vampire and otherkin at the time.
Oh yeah, dude, otherkin. It's been a minute since I've talked about otherkin, dude. Like, that's like 2014 Tumblr era shit, man. I love that.
It's important. I'm using a lot of Gen Z terminology today, but it's important to vibe check us, Jamie. It's important to figure out why we're doing.
Are you
this.
saying it's important for me to vibe check?
No. For everybody to figure out what we're doing here, right? Because what are we doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we here to
Otherwise
shut people
you lose
down?
The script real fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we here to like make fun of? I'm not here to make fun of people.
We can put it this way: nobody has really been able to convince me of their beliefs so far since they've been on my show.
Really? You're telling me you don't believe in the guy that killed the aliens with machine gun and a samurai sword? Because I believe it right now.
You know, like medical science and other things still leave room open for. We don't see breaking of the boundaries of physics in any of this stuff. And if we do, or if we hear about it, it's usually like 500-year-old tales from Saint Aquinas the Thrifty, from like from some region in France. Like it's not something that's accessible to us like it would be with the natural sciences, right? Or Aryans. They didn't say Indo-Aryans. That's a more accurate academic term. They just called themselves Aryans because they thought they were the descendants of this race of people, even though it's actually a multitude of different people that lived in the region. But Nazis were not very good at their history.
No, they were very bad at archaeology as well.
Yeah. So there you go, Susie. I got to talk about fucking Hitler. I don't know if I've ever done that to a much extent on this show. Does that answer your question? Well, needless to say, we're not royalists. Okay, we're not royalists. We don't feel that type of way. But I don't know. It's an interesting situation.
I love the Queen. I will always love the Queen.
I like the band.
They're
pretty good.
Oh, I was talking about the band.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
The extra X is completely arbitrary, but I have left it in because that's what I started with. And I constantly joke that if I ever start an OnlyFans account, I'll already have my name. But
oh, I like it.
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
You already got it right.
And if it does happen, it'll be announced on a Thursday.
That objectively, Danka, he's got to get some new glasses. I mean, they're so thick. You know, I don't know. I tried to tell him not to wear that stuff on screen, but he just doesn't listen to me. I don't know what it is.
But so is he, right? You know.
You're saying he's thick? Oh, well.
What?
A few months ago, I asked Greg, our executive producer, if they could pay for me to become a Freemason. I wanted this to be a long con where I went to a couple Freemason meetings and then like I showed off some symbology and then I wanted to make people guess I was in the Freemason. It didn't work out. You want to know why? It's boring. I talked to the Freemasons on the phone and I tried to get in and it's just a voice. I didn't even want to go. I was like, I don't even want to spend my free time with these people because it's not even worth it, you know?
No, but they would just say it's magic though. They would just say, well, God can do anything and you know, it just happened that way. Like we know logically, we know scientifically, you can't turn water into wine without like using extreme nuclear methods.
Jesus. If I had a dream that I was laying on a table and there were gray aliens wearing party hats standing around me, I mean, does that mean that it was real? And that it was possible or plausible?
Can you smell in a dream?
Can you develop a completely new smell that you've never smelled before in a dream?
But you admitted that you've smelled metal before.
Right, but any metal that I've smelled always had some kind of humidity surrounding it. It was the combination of the metal smell and the like absolute zero humidity dryness of the air.
But I do know a little bit about rain of frogs phenomenon. It's actually kind of a thing. It obviously it dates back to the Bible, right? If you remember in I believe it's Exodus where it happens. Yes. Moses is talking to the Pharaoh there, and there's supposed to be these plagues that go upon Egypt. One of them is a rain of frogs, right? So that happens. So that's so specific enough to where you think there must be an origin for this, right, in nature, and there kind of is. So in low pressure environments, right, tornadoes can happen, but also just like water spouts in general, right, can come up. And frogs are not that heavy. They're just a few ounces, and they can be lifted up by these events and kind of sort of rain down on people. Now, when we say rain, we think of like, oh, it's like coming from the sky, right? And that's not really usually what's happening in this, but this is so long ago, I'm surprised I can even recall some of this. But like there have been sightings of these kinds of situations before, and like this is the proposed explanation for what's been going on, is that it's just, again, there's usually a storm happening, and when that in that low pressure, you create sort of that environment for stuff to get picked up, including frogs. So I'm assuming that's what happened to you. But Heath, I'm just spitballing here because I just had a man on the phone tell me that he saw a rain of frogs, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. So that's my best stab at it. What do you think?
And I'm a massive fan of there being alien life. I would love for there to be alien life somewhere, and because of what we know about convergent evolution, and just how other planets are, just through observation, the chances are there is some form of life billions of light years away. Would they travel all the way to this little dot in the Milky Way galaxy to come and visit some of us? I don't know. The only way I think I'd believe it is if a little spaceman came and slapped me in the face.
Right.
I've had some really cool experience. I've had some really good orgasms. Like, if you want to talk about it, like maybe we could talk about that on Thursday.
But I want to know how your orgasm is going to change the world, and why it's got to be everyone else's business.
I think that purity culture has really hurt a lot of people. So if we could stop teaching all this really bad rhetoric around our bodies being these weapons of mass destructions, I'm talking to you, like, ladies, then maybe the world would be a better place, and we would have less
so
aggression.
A proposition.
Sex could fix the world.
I was just going to say that.
I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And the Father is what I've known from the beginning. And through the Son and faith on the Son to give us the Spirit is what
this sounds like Christianese to me. I don't know what this means.
There's people who would say if you reinterpret the language here, it's not actually talking about people's sexual orientations or identities in the New Testament. And in the Old Testament, there's other things that people point to. But like that's where the academic discussion goes. Yeah, from my understanding.
So when they're talking about the stuff in the New Testament, they're saying, no, he's saying, don't be a hoe for the church, but be a hoe if that's what you're gonna do.
I swear to God, Jamie, you're gonna this.
It's an honest question.
I thought he was talking about like, oh, you can see faces and stuff, and it's just like, that's like a common thing, right? He's saying there's like pictures of aliens on Mars, which is like,
are little insectoid Martians going around and making mini Mount Rushmores? Is that what's going on here?
Is that what's going on? Do they have an atmosphere?
Like
do they not need an atmosphere? And they're just like, what do they eat? There's no ecosystems.
Right?
Where's the food coming from? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I will say, before we get to our next caller, I really want to talk to our next caller, but I will say, I didn't even know what was going on too much in the Jehovah's Witness world when I was a Christian. Really didn't. And then once I was like kind of going through my
radar,
they do kind of fly under the radar. But when I kind of tuned into what was going on and like the actual, like there really is this illusion that they give themselves that they are kind of running the show. But for the most part, the reality is that most people have no idea. what they're doing.
Just a bunch of
what they're doing in
bumbling
Kingdom Hall. I
old
don't know
white
what the
dudes. They're a
Yeah.
bunch of bumbling old white dudes who like wouldn't know how to use Twitter.
Watch The Non-Prophets and join the hosts in the live chat, Sundays at 3 p.m. Central, between the Atheist Experience and Talk Hidden. Visit tiny.cc/YTNP.